With new chains popping up every week at this point and tens of millions of dollars of liquidity going over there, there's definitely a lot of opportunities across a lot of different chains. Today, I'm going to show you how you can find those opportunities before the masses dive into them, but also how you can find the best liquidity pools across all these chains, searching all at once. So we use Metrix Finance for this. We're going to select the exchanges: Uniswap, QuickSwap, PancakeSwap, SushiSwap, Orca, Radium, Velodrome, and Aerodrome. Now, as far as networks go, we can select across Ethereum, Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon, Base, BNB Chain, Avalanche, CeeLo, ZK EVM, Manta Pacific, and Solana. So that's a lot of different chains right there. And then from there, we can select how much data is being factored in when looking at these potential returns, when looking at price volatility, when looking at average daily volume, stuff like that. I'd recommend about 14 days. Maybe if you're LPing on a shorter horizon, you could do about 7 days. It's literally going to spit out 4,219 pools right there. That's a lot of liquidity pools. That's like half of the liquidity pools in DeFi. And then from there, we can filter down by APR, rewards APR, volatility, TVL, correlation. All of that stuff can be filtered. So let's filter by APR to start with. I want to look at higher than 30%, and usually I will look at lower than 500%. Because lower than 500% will kind of factor out those outliers that are pools that just will die down within a couple days or within a couple weeks. I don't know about you, but I don't like blowing my money, so that's why I filter those out. And then in terms of volatility, I'll usually look at lower than 15%. That way I'm not diving into super volatile liquidity pools that are going to just bleed my capital. I'll look at TVL higher than 500 grand typically. And if I'm diving into the Ethereum network, I'll usually look for above $1 million or so. I like to look for correlated liquidity pools, so I'm looking at correlation higher than 0.5. By the way, this is one of the only tools out there, I think the only tool out there, that allows you to filter by correlation. So you can see we're already down from 4,200 to 60 liquidity pools. Pretty simple. And I'm not even going to bother filtering by anything because I know I can personally analyze 60 liquidity pools. Ethereum to Ohm has a 0.86 correlation over the past 14 days. So if I were to dive into this, I could probably go in with a range, something looking like this basically. Minus 11%, plus 11%. Again, nothing too complex with this range. Gives us about 47% Ethereum and about 53% Ohm. Again, we choose how much data we want to be factored in. So let's go ahead and just assume we want to factor in since July 18th. So about 13 days, we just adjust that calculation time frame. And when we look at that return, we're doing 53% per year. And this is a very, very correlated liquidity pool, a 0.86 correlation, which is pretty solid. Now we could keep on scrolling down and just deciding which ones we truly want to deploy into. But what I want to show you is another aspect of Metrix Finance that is something that Metrix has that no other tool has. So we have render to Sol over here. Now I know that there is render to Sol on multiple exchanges, and there's also multiple fee tiers. It's on Radium, it's on Orca. So I'm going to head over to the simulate section and click pair. Now pair is going to analyze a specific pair across every possible exchange and network that you select. So if we do Orca and Radium on the Solana network, and if we just select render as well as Solana, we could type in our specific price range. So this is after we've already selected the price range. I'll use the default. I'm also going to use a 7-day calculation time frame. And then we could also type in our deposit amount because that does affect returns if you're going to end up diluting the pool. You can see I go from 28.83% APR in a year to 27.03 as I start to deposit 10K versus 100K because of dilution. But let's just say I were to do about 25 grand in this pool. You can see this one's $19.53 per day. However, this one over here is $68.54 per day, a lot better. And then this one over here is about $21.66 per day. So again, this is the best one to be in right here. And we can find that using Metrix Finance, the pair functionality. So I would highly urge you guys, if you're not using Metrix Finance, go start a 7-day free trial, put in all the positions that you're currently in on this pair tool with your ranges and everything. And if you find opportunities that produce you more income, you should sign up. If not, just go ahead and cancel the trial, no biggie. But this is the tool that allows you to scan all these networks and all these exchanges and be able to identify the best opportunities. And then after that, go in and actually track your performance, simulate, discover. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, drop a like, subscribe, notifications turned on. Peace out.